And if you suffer with anxiety, or you find yourself in this really deeply rooted monkey mind, this is going to be a practice that is going to deeply help you root back home into your being, lower your anxiety levels in the midst of a moment. Hello, my YouTube family. Welcome back. And for those of you that are new, welcome to this channel. I am your feminine lifestyle elevation and business coach, and I am here to empower you to turn your pain into your purpose and create the life of your dreams in a body you love. I feel so deeply grounded and so deeply rooted in my being as I just finished a creative expression workshop, and something that came through to me was to create this video on tapping for anxiety. And if you suffer with anxiety, or you find yourself in this really deeply rooted monkey mind, or thought processes that just keep playing on replay, these limiting beliefs, this umbrella of anxiety that cripples you from taking steps forward in your life, this is going to be a practice that is going to deeply, deeply help you root back home into your being and to lower your anxiety levels in the midst of a moment. And why this came through for me is I was just back at home visiting my family, and my mom is currently being challenged by really intense anxiety, where it cripples her, where she stops in her tracks, she gets lost in her thought processes, and sometimes she forgets next steps, right? Because anxiety can be very crippling. Anxiety can be something that takes over your entire life, right? And while anxiety is not an emotion, it is a feeling that lives in your body. And I want to give you this tool of tapping to be able to help you to move through your anxiety in real time. And what is tapping? Tapping is an emotional freedom technique that works just along the lines of acupuncture. However, it's more like acupressure. It uses our energy highways, or our meridians, to bring us back into our body, into our being, to align the chi, which is our life force, our prana, our energy, and allows us to come back into a place of control, and not control from a place of fear, but a deep-rooted home when it comes to control. Home in your body, home in the present moment. And what is anxiety? Anxiety is an umbrella feeling that goes over unexpressed emotions. It's a feeling that comes when we don't have emotional intimacy. It's a feeling that comes when we're afraid to feel our emotions. And while emotions are energy in motion, if we don't put motion to our energy, we get anxiety, which feels like really heavy chest pressure, which feels like our thoughts are running at 1,000 miles per hour, which feels like monkey mind, overwhelm, right? But when we can get to the root of what's causing the anxiety, we can start to understand that our anxiety is just a feeling and it's not a life sentence. And so let's get into the tapping. So tapping, emotional freedom techniques, it's going to use 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Plus our entrance karate chop point. I'm going to run you through exactly how we're going to do it, and then I will take you through the actual practice itself, so that way you can use this video to be able to use tapping in real time. When you first get started, is you want to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, How anxious am I feeling? 10 meaning I'm so anxious, I'm so crippled by this anxiety, I can't even move. It's just taking over this moment of my life. 1 being I'm so relaxed, I'm chilling, nothing's bothering me. I'm here in the present, I'm here at home in my body. Before you start, you get to ask yourself, what is that marker? What is the entrance point of your feelings of anxiety? And what I would do is I'd have you write it down. Make sure you don't forget to write it down, because when we go through this process, our mind can trick us and be like, oh, it was the same as when I first started. But when you see an actual physical number, you get to realize that this practice and this process works really massively. And I just used it with my mom while I was home, and she really found that her anxiety went from like an 8 or 9 to a 3 or 4. So this process really works, and so I want to share it with you. First, writing scale of 1 to 10, what are you feeling when it comes to anxiety? And then we're gonna go into the process. So how it works. You first start with an entrance of karate chop. This is your karate chop point. You're only gonna use this the first time through. So you'll start with the karate chop point and you'll do it 3 times. So I'll teach you exactly how to do it as we go through it, but it looks something like this. Even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and honor myself. We'll do that 3 times. Once we do that 3 times, that's it. You won't do it again. Then you'll go into the tapping process. And when you're trying to build your own tapping script, how I like to explain it to my clients is you're gonna go into a dialogue around what are you currently feeling? And I want you to speak the shit or talk the shit into what you're feeling. I'm so anxious and anxiety cripples me. Am I ever going to be able to move through this anxiety? I feel useless. I feel, right? So you're going to talk what your current thought process is in the first round. In the second round, it's the epiphany or the bridge of, well, even though I'm anxious, maybe this anxiety is here for a reason. Maybe this anxiety is here to teach me something. If only I learned how to cope with my emotions or to create an intimacy with my emotions, maybe the anxiety wouldn't rule my world, right? So it's this epiphany phase where you're like, maybe. And then you go into the empowerment phase. With the empowerment phase, you talk about, I am not crippled by my anxiety. In fact, I'm a powerful being. I have what it takes to move through this anxiety. And if I don't know how, I can reach out to someone that would help me, right? So your current state in the anxious process, and you're talking the shit, you're talking whatever's on your mind, whatever you're thinking from that place of the inner critic. Then you go into the epiphany phase, which is, maybe this isn't as bad as I think it is. And then you go into the empowerment phase. I'm not crippled by this. This is what I'm learning, X, Y, and Z. And so how this works is asking yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, then you do 3 karate chop points, and then you do the first phase, which is your current state, what your inner critic is speaking. You're gonna tap on all 8 points. Then you go into your epiphany phase, which is where you have a realization. It's the bridge that gets you from your inner critic to your empowerment, right? You'll tap that with all 8 points. And then you go into your empowerment, which is, I'm not crippled by my anxiety, right? And then you tap on all 8 points there. Once you're finished with the entire tapping process, then you finish, you take a deep breath, and then you ask yourself again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious am I feeling? And in that, you get to see that this tapping works. So I'm gonna guide you through it. I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna pause. So if you're watching this and you want to go along with the tapping process, all you're gonna do is just repeat after me every time I pause. And then I will go and continue again. So at least you'll have an actual tool that will be able to take you through this tapping process. So let's get started. Even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and honor myself. So that's one time. You'll do it 2 more times. Even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and respect myself. Even though I feel anxious, I deeply and completely love and celebrate myself. Okay, so that'll be the first entrance. Then you'll go into the tapping points. Our tapping points in between our eyes, side of eye, under nose, chin, collarbone, which will be right underneath the collarbone, the meaty portion, and right underneath our armpit. Okay, so those will be the tapping points. So we'll start, I'll guide you through it. In between your eyebrows, all of this anxiety is crippling me. I'm tired of this anxiety ruling my world. It's like I can never get anything done because I'm always so damn anxious. Why am I so crippled by anxiety and other people aren't? Chin. I hate that this anxiety stops me from creating the life of my dreams. It's like collarbone. It's like it won't go away. How do I get it to stop? Underneath your armpit, which will be right by your bra strap. I want this anxiety to stop now. It's driving me insane. Top of your head. When will this anxiety go away, or is it my life sentence? And then we're going to round 2, which is the epiphany in between our eyebrows. Same thing. Maybe if I take time to understand my anxiety, side of eyebrow, I can learn why it's here and what it's trying to teach me. Underneath. I once heard that anxiety is a cover-up for something deeper. Under my chin, under my nose, I mean. I wonder what is there deeper? What is this trying to teach me? To our chin. Maybe if I just journal rather than letting anxiety cripple me. Collarbone. I can learn that it's here for my greater good. So next time I feel anxious, I will do tapping and journaling. Top of my head. Because this is where I really get to learn myself and create a relationship with myself. Okay, now we're going into the empowerment phase. When I learn to create an intimate relationship with myself and learn what's underneath the anxiety, I realize all that I was anxious about was just made up stories. Under your nose. When I anchor into the present moment and connect to my breath, I realize that the situation isn't as big of a deal. Collarbone. I create empowerment and understanding when anxiety arises. And it's actually a treat because I get to learn myself deeper now. Top of my head. Because I am strong, I am courageous. Because I am strong, I am courageous, and I can move through anything I set my heart to. Bam. You can also do the empowerment one more time if it feels good for you. If you feel like you weren't complete in empowering yourself through the process, right? And you'll see how I kind of just made that script up. Really what you get to do is follow this anxiety script for now. And then what you get to do is it's really innate, it's really intuitive when you're doing a tapping process. You get to, again, go from the current state, your inner critic, to your epiphany, to your empowerment. So you're guiding yourself through this process. And if you have any questions on scripts for tapping, it's really good for so many things: to move through emotions, to move through compulsive patterns, to understand yourself deeper, to create more financial abundance, to change limiting beliefs. And so if you have any questions on how to create a tapping script for a specific circumstance, for something you're moving through, please feel free to send me an email or reach out to me on Instagram, which you can find both right here. You can also find it in the description box below. First, you start by rating your current state. Then you do your entry level 3 times. Even though I blank whatever you're moving through, I deeply and completely blank. Love and honor myself, love and respect myself. And then you do that 3 times, and then you go through the tapping process in itself. I hope this helps. I'm super excited to hear how this works for you. Please, please, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe if you like this. I'm gonna be giving more tools, more techniques for you to use. Go ahead and comment below. It really helps me out to see your feedback. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope you have an amazing week.